I grew up playing the basketball with the boys, so like it's always been physical and feisty, and like that's what it is. And you got to find a way to hold.
Those words from Caitlin Clark now hit different because what she just announced has left the entire basketball world speechless. The woman who dominated courts from Iowa to Indiana, who broke records like they were made of glass, who single-handedly transformed women's basketball into must-see television. She just dropped a bombshell that nobody saw coming. And I'm not talking about a trade, a contract dispute, or even an injury. This is something that could change everything we thought we knew about the future of the WNBA. Fans are calling it the most shocking announcement in women's sports history. And honestly, after what we've learned in the past few hours, they might be right. What Caitlin Clark just revealed has sent shockwaves through every corner of the basketball universe, from the front offices to the fan forums, from ESPN's newsroom to your social media feeds. The question everyone's asking isn't just what this means for her career, it's whether this is the beginning of the end of the most electrifying era women's basketball has ever seen. Here's what we know. Caitlin Clark, the woman who made logo threes look routine, who turned assists into art, who packed arenas from coast to coast. She's stepping away from basketball. Not for a week, not for a month, but for over 200 days. No overseas leagues, no off-season tournaments, no training camps, no 3-on-3 circuits. Nothing. Until April. The WNBA's brightest star will be nowhere near a basketball court, and the silence is deafening. Ryan Ruocco himself confirmed it, and when one of basketball's most respected voices validates something this massive, you know it's real. But here's the thing that's driving fans absolutely wild. This isn't just about rest. This decision comes on the heels of what might be the most controversial ending to any WNBA season we've ever witnessed. Clark's final game was pure chaos. Picture this: the most recognizable face in women's basketball, playing her heart out in a do-or-die playoff moment, gets absolutely leveled. We're talking about a tackle that would make NFL defenders proud. The crowd holds its breath, everyone expects the whistle, and then nothing. No call, no foul, no acknowledgement that the league's biggest star just got bulldozed on national television. The internet erupted. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. Can someone explain how that's not a foul? Became the battle cry across every social platform. But then came the cynical responses that cut deep. Oh wait, it's Caitlin Clark. The implication was clear: different rules, different treatment, different standards for the player who had done more for the league in one season than most players do in their entire careers. Social media became a battlefield. Players started speaking out, not just about the officiating, but about everything that had been building all season long. We don't want fans degrading us or calling us names. One player said, her frustration palpable. We come to play basketball. It's our job and we love it. But no one should go to work and have social media explode over things like this. Something has to be done. The tension reached a boiling point when Alyssa Thomas made her feelings known after that final game. Instead of celebrating what should have been a victory, she was calling out Fever fans for slurs and disrespect, expressing exhaustion with the negativity that had followed the team all season. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is the part that has everyone talking. Earlier in the season, when Angel Reese had a similar physical incident with Thomas, there was silence. Complete radio silence. No complaints, no press conferences, no calls for better fan behavior. But suddenly, when Caitlin Clark is involved, it's a completely different story. This double standard isn't lost on anyone paying attention, and it might be the real reason behind Clark's shocking decision. Because when you dive into the numbers, when you really look at what this young woman accomplished in just one season, the decision to step back starts making perfect sense. In just 324 days, Caitlin played what essentially amounts to a full NBA season. 81 games, logging nearly 3,000 minutes on the court. That's not just extraordinary, that's borderline superhuman. Most professional athletes would crumble under that kind of workload, but Clark didn't just survive it, she thrived. Take her final playoff performance against the Connecticut Sun. This wasn't just any team. This was a playoff-tested squad built specifically to crush underdogs like the Indiana Fever. On paper, Indiana had no business being competitive, but Clark came out swinging like her life depended on it. 25 points and 9 assists while carrying the entire offensive load for a team that, without her, would have been watching the playoffs from home. But here's what the box score doesn't tell you. Clark was dropping perfect passes all night long, setting up teammates for shots so wide open they could have been practicing alone in a gym. Shot after shot rimmed out. Perfect setup after perfect setup went to waste. Fans are pulling their hair out watching it. How many more perfect passes does she have to make before someone finishes? Became the frustrated cry echoing through social media. That game wasn't just about points and assists. It was a masterclass in how one player can elevate an entire franchise. Clark made her teammates better, created opportunities that didn't show up in any stat sheet, and single-handedly gave Indiana a legitimate shot at an upset against one of the league's most dominant teams. From the opening tip, she was attacking the rim with the confidence of a veteran, hitting shots from distances that left defenders completely helpless, playing like someone who refused to let the moment be bigger than her preparation. Every possession felt electric. Every shot carried the weight of an entire franchise's hopes. This is what superstar basketball looks like, and Clark delivered it on the biggest stage possible. And that's exactly what makes her dominance so undeniable. The entire league had her name circled on their scouting reports. Coaches were staying up late designing defensive schemes specifically to slow her down. Teams were making mid-game adjustments just to contain her impact. And night after night, Caitlin found ways to torch them anyway. Her shooting range isn't just impressive, it's game-breaking. She pulls up from distances that leave defenders in impossible situations. When she drills those deep threes, entire defenses have to collapse. And that's when the lanes open up for her lightning-quick drives to the basket. Her ball handling is razor-sharp, slicing through defenders like they're standing still. But scoring is just half the story. Clark's playmaking vision puts her in a category with the smartest guards to ever play the game. She sees passing lanes that other players don't even know exist, threading needles with precision that makes highlight reels look effortless. Even Clark herself knows there's more in the tank. "I feel like I had a solid year," she said, "but the fun part for me is knowing I'm just scratching the surface. I nitpick every single thing I do because I want to help this franchise get better, help my teammates improve, and be better for them. There's so much room for me to grow, and that's what excites me the most." That combination of elite shooting, elite vision, and relentless self-improvement is exactly what separates superstars from good players. She's not chasing individual accolades. She's building something bigger. And that's why her decision to step away is so shocking to so many people. Her rookie season was supposed to be a learning experience, a chance to adjust to professional basketball and maybe make some noise. Instead, it became a masterpiece of dominance that nobody saw coming. The WNBA schedule is absolutely relentless, and watching Clark navigate, it was like watching someone rewrite the rules of what's possible for a first-year player. Her impact went beyond statistics and highlight plays. Every arena she visited saw massive attendance spikes. Small venues, large venues, it didn't matter. Caitlin Clark was putting fans in seats and bringing new eyeballs to women's basketball. She wasn't just playing the game. She was transforming it into appointment television. For a player carrying the offensive load, defensive attention, and massive expectations of an entire franchise, the grind becomes intensified beyond what most people can imagine. Playing overseas might look tempting from a financial perspective, but it's just more wear and tear with no real recovery time. Clark recognized this reality better than anyone expected. The physical and mental toll was real, and stepping back was the only way to protect her long-term future in the game. She didn't just skip overseas opportunities. She passed on everything. 3-on-3 circuits, off-season tournaments, exhibition games, all of it. That kind of maturity is rare in professional sports, especially from someone so young. While other players feel pressured to play year-round, chasing overseas paychecks or staying relevant in the news cycle, Clark is thinking decades ahead. She understands that protecting her body now means dominating for years to come. But the physical demands were only part of the story. The officiating controversies that followed Clark all season long created a level of frustration that was impossible to ignore. Night after night, she was getting hacked, driving to the rim, shoved on the perimeter, knocked to the floor with no calls coming her way. Fans were shocked watching one of the league's brightest stars get treated like this. In both the NBA and WNBA, superstar players typically get the benefit of the doubt from referees. LeBron James, Aya Wilson, the elite players get favorable calls when they attack the rim. But Clark? Silence. Even the most obvious contact went uncalled, creating a pattern of disrespect that simmered all season long. The inconsistency was glaring and impossible to ignore. Fans, coaches, and analysts all pointed out the same thing. There was a clear double standard in how Clark was being officiated compared to other star players. It wasn't just one or two missed calls. It was a systematic pattern that raised serious questions about how the league treats its most marketable talent. The drama extended beyond the court into the stands. During that final playoff game, fans were relentless with their heckling, trying to throw Clark off her game with constant taunts and cheap shots from the crowd. For most of the night, she handled it like the professional she is, but even the toughest competitors have breaking points. Eventually, the constant harassment got to her, and in a moment straight out of a LeBron James highlight reel, Clark calmly pointed out the disruptive fan to arena security. Within minutes, the individual was escorted out of the building. It was a statement that went far beyond basketball. She was standing up for herself and setting boundaries about what kind of treatment she would accept. That moment revealed something we rarely see from Clark, a tiny crack in her usually unshakable armor. You could see the frustration bubbling over, her calm composure slipping just enough for everyone to notice. It humanized her in a way that made fans realize just how much pressure she'd been carrying all season long. Now, with Clark officially stepping away, the entire WNBA landscape has shifted. The balance of power has changed, and one person in particular might be breathing a little easier: Angel Reese. The Clark-Reese rivalry dominated headlines all season long, fueled highlight reels, and sparked debates that went far beyond basketball. "If my teammate went to play for another team, I'm going to compete," Angel explained. "I'm going to trash talk just because I'm competitive. But off the court, we're going to laugh and have fun. Trash talk is part of the game. It shouldn't be taken personally." The rivalry was pure electricity, shot for shot, word for word, moment for moment. With Clark now sidelined, one of Reese's biggest obstacles to a championship has disappeared. She hasn't publicly gloated, but make no mistake, Clark's absence changes everything about the playoff picture. Without Clark leading the Indiana Fever, the team immediately collapsed back into irrelevance. The spotlight has shifted to other stars like Aya Wilson, who now carries the mantle as the last megastar standing in the postseason. But Clark's early exit isn't just about playoff brackets. It's about the entire foundation of the league. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Caitlin Clark didn't just play basketball this season. She transformed the WNBA into something it had never been before. Fans tuned in specifically to watch her play, waiting for those logo three-pointers, no-look passes, and the fiery energy she brought every single night. She made highlights feel like must-watch television, creating the kind of buzz the league had been chasing for decades. Behind the scenes, WNBA front offices are likely in full panic mode. Sponsors signed deals expecting Clark's star power to keep fans glued to screens all season long. Television networks cleared prime-time slots for her games. Suddenly, the league's biggest draw is on pause, and the business implications are staggering. The truth is simple and undeniable. Caitlin Clark became the story. Every ticket sold, every viral highlight clip, every surge in merchandise sales carried her influence. Without her, the league is scrambling to answer the biggest question in women's sports: who can fill this void? For the first time in years, women's basketball had a genuine cultural moment, and it was centered around one player. That's why her decision to rest isn't just about health, it's about power. Clark just reminded everyone that when she steps off the court, the entire league feels it. The WNBA has made enormous progress in marketing and broadcasting, bringing new eyes to the game like never before. But players like Caitlin Clark are the fuel that keeps that momentum alive. Without her, the league loses not just a star, but its most marketable and exciting face.